We are here at the NAMM Show 2020, and we're talking with our good friend Tom Spiker, engineer, multi-instrumentalist, producer, mixer,
Educator.
jazz educator.
Musician. Oh, God.
It's also worth mentioning that you've got a couple of the VT-24s, the 4-channel mic preamps.
So I have 8 channels of this gorgeous thing, 2 channels of this, and 1 of these.
I'm Joff Hazelrigg with my brother George and Doug Fearn, and we're having a conversation here about how you use the Fearn gear, how you use the VLC-1.
This stuff kind of made me rethink a lot of things. So when you're an educator, rethinking things, it kind of comes off as a little funny, but I'm a pretty honest person, so I roll with it. And
well, you're trying to put kids down the right path, or students.
Absolutely.
And you learn things along the way.
And if you're not learning things along the way, then you're just kind of stuck in your old ways.
Yeah, right.
That. Getting into this world has really kind of made a mess of things in the best possible way. So the first thing was one of these boxes.
Right, which you had one of the very first ones.
I have serial number 2, I believe. It just kind of obliterated everything else I owned. I did a little test one day, A being, it's like you got to figure out what you got to sell to pay for this stuff. So
right.
I A-B'd it against a few things, and it just kind of made things sound broken by comparison. So, that was a big eye-opening experience. The next part of that was really getting familiar with the EQ. Just playing around. You don't need to be precious with any of this stuff. I mean, it's a musical tool. So, it's just built for people that don't really get precious about things. And, I've never been a numbers person. I've never been like I'm boosting, 3.2K, this Q, and, which really is frustrating for a lot of my students, because it's just like I like to just throw paint against the wall, both as a performer and a musician, guitarist, bassist, whatever. I do that there, I do that here, and it gets you places. It makes making quick decisions will get you to results quicker, and that forms a little path. And therefore you get work done and you have fun, and usually people are happy. So this is in the spirit of that. And what can I say? Between that and just the sound, I mean, you plug an instrument in here, look out.
So you're tracking with the VT-7.
Absolutely.
Which is like a lot of our guys, talking to a lot of other guys that are mixed guys.
Yeah.
It's always the VT-7's on the master bus, and that's where it lives. But then, there are these other folks that are like actually tracking things, and it's like, oh no, I use my VT-7 to track.
You can't get a bad sound out of that box. It just depends on what you're going for. So you make a quick decision, go into Pro Tools, hit commit. It'll print the track for you, on to the next thing. So sometimes I'll just commit, a VT-7. Sometimes I'll commit just the VLCs. Sometimes it's both. It just makes life better, and trying to eliminate plugins.
Right.
Just try to get rid of all that stuff, or
right.
all the clutter.
Well, Tom, I think that's a really good point, because the VT-7 has gotten this reputation in the industry as being the bus compressor or the mastering compressor, and it, obviously it's really good at those things, but you can use it for tracking.
I love it.
And you can switch it to separate, and you've got 2 channels you can use independently.
I think I tried this once, running one channel, like say build a vocal chain, hit, take off a little of the top with one channel, run it through an EQ, and then back
into the other channel.
Because you honestly could keep printing, and people have been discovering this. Like, you can just keep the A to D. The round trip doesn't
It doesn't cost you
really
anything.
cost
Yeah.
you much,
Yeah.
if
Yeah.
anything, and it always just keeps sounding better and like
Yeah,
little bits. Of,
Dale Becker sent me a text about a month ago or so, and he said he was working on something. He said he couldn't believe, doesn't understand how, he hits both of these units in one pass, and then he hits them in the second pass, and he's expecting it to not be
Right.
great because you're hitting the same gear.
and it just
but
gets
not only does it not degrade it anyway, it actually makes it sound better.
I'm curious how many times it takes. We should do a test.
So you hit a critical point.
yeah.
We'll just get a really big stack of these things.
I know. Well, you could just keep printing.
Yeah, but see, then you're making all those conversions also.
Well, no, that's what I mean, though.
Yeah, yeah.
Because it's going to hit a few stages if you're passing it along from
Right.
tracking to, mixing to mastering and all
Right,
that.
right.
So
Yeah,
what
true.
is the critical point? But yeah, I would love a rack full of them, and I would love to have 16 or 24 channels of these and a whole console where I could just paint. But I have to go one at a time, or two at a time, 2 channels at a time. So, but it's changed my workflow, and it's all a work in progress and a discovery. Next up is selling the farm so I could get one of these.